Kilimanjaro is a dangerous place where it's all about the money. The climber is a customer and the mountain is already nicknamed the Gold Vein of Tanzania. It resembles more an adventure playground between garbage than a challenging trekking venture. Is it even worth climbing Africa's highest mountain then? And why are so many so happy to have been up there? Let's dive into this. Welcome to a new episode of Mountain Stories. Let me start with a small comparison that will help us to better understand the feeling of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Do you remember your first apartment or your first car? What was it like? The freedom of finally having a car. The achievement of taking the next step? The freedom to finally live on your own or go where you want? Do you remember how proud you were to have your own four walls? It is the same for many on Kilimanjaro. The first big trekking tour. Maybe also the first time at an altitude of more than 5,000 meters. To have mastered the strains of such a tour, and never before to have done something so strenuous. For many, who never do anything comparable again, this memory remains. Others go on to do other tours, other mountains, other adventures, new experiences. These new experiences help them to reevaluate their old ones. The same thing maybe happened to you with your first apartment or car. After a few years, once you changed places, you have a different perspective. Maybe not everything in the old apartment was nice and it wasn't the best. Also, the view on trekking Kilimanjaro changes. If you do other tours, you get to know new things. Make other experiences. Get a different perspective. Then you learn that you don't need a guide for everything. That the personal responsibility to plan a tour and to be responsible for the planning can be an even greater satisfaction. That even a guide does not always guarantee safety. Take a look at the video of the haute route drama, for example. Here, the participants also relied on their guide. This also includes that you can carry your things yourself, and on a multi-day tour just a day pack is not enough. Or, even more drastically, that you don't need an extra porter to carry your tent for the toilet. You can find mountains and tours that don't charge an entrance fee of $800 to walk on a trek called Coca-Cola because you can buy it everywhere. Last but not least, you don't have to share other tours with 50,000 other trekkers every year. But why are so many people so enthusiastic about Kilimanjaro? Well, it's like the first apartment. It may not have been the best, but you are still attached to this apartment with your heart. And so it is with the first big trekking tour. The first 5,000 meters peak or climbing one of the 7 summits. These are also the feelings you can't take away after climbing such a mountain. Even if many things do not fit into the image of a trekking tour, for many it was one of the first and most important or the most strenuous thing they have ever done in life. And therefore they are also attached to it with their hearts. From a purely objective point of view, however, there are more beautiful 5,000 meters tours that you can choose to make great trekking tours, where the disadvantages that I have mentioned do not occur so drastically. So if you go on a great adventure, and your previous experience is kind of far away from that, you will always be able to live off it for a long time. This was also true for the experience of the first apartment or the first car. It was a new experience. Before I come to the conclusion and tell you if I think you should go, maybe let me say this first. If you decide to go climb Kilimanjaro after all, maybe just to be able to say perhaps simply that one has climbed the highest mountain of Africa, then please consider this. Others have made many and long videos about this. I will try to summarize it quickly in under a minute. Go at the right time. Do not go at the peak season but at the beginning or end. Take your time. If this is going to be one of your greatest adventures, don't race to the top in 5 days. Choose a route that's longer, tends to be less crowded, and is safer because you can acclimatize better. Anyone can be affected by high altitude sickness. Pay attention to the classic tips. Go slow. Go high, sleep low. Drink plenty. Good guides check your oxygen levels. Don't take the cheapest provider. Your price is reflected in your safety and equipment of people. The park fee is about $800 to $1,000. Only the rest goes to guides and porters. Train beforehand. If you are fit, you can focus more on your environment as on your body. If you can't go on health-wise or mentally, turn back. Getting home safely without having been to the summit is more important than staying at the summit forever. And last but not least, enjoy it. It's your adventure. So after this few tips, what is my conclusion? Should you go? I think if you haven't had a similar experience before, you will certainly take away a lot. The success of having done something so strenuous will outweigh everything else. However, it is certainly worth looking at alternatives. If you have already made similar treks, you will certainly be able to take away less for yourself. If you want to make a better adventure out of climbing Kilimanjaro, you have to choose the right time. You have to choose the right path. Should take the time to enjoy it. Should prepare physically and mentally for it, so that you can also enjoy the tour. The important thing is that you can have such experiences everywhere. You can find your adventures everywhere. The only important thing is that you go out of your comfort zone to some extent. If the gap between the experience you've had so far and your new adventure is big enough, it will be unforgettable. So go out and find your adventure. So, what is your thought on going to Kilimanjaro? Do you share my opinion that past experience is crucial? Let me know in the comments section. I am looking forward to your response. If you like today's episode, follow the channel to make sure you don't miss the next one. Until then, take care and thank you for your interest.